welcome to the class this evening. We will go ahead and start sitting. You can sit like I was on your knees. It's actually, I might stay on my knees tonight. If you take a block and put it behind you and sit here, it elevates you and you can have your knees bent. You can sit cross-legged. Like I said, my knees have been kind of bothering me, so this is actually better for my knees right now. But if you want to sit cross-legged, if you want to sit in a lotus or half lotus, any of those are fine. What's most important is that you're sitting with a nice, long, tall spine. Our shoulders are relaxed down away from the ears. Just let your hands come to your lap. They can be palm up or palm down. You can close your eyes if you're comfortable doing that, or if you want to leave them open, you can do that as well. And just allow yourself to sit for a moment. Take a moment and just watch yourself from the inside. Watch your breath. So without changing your breath yet, just observe it. Are you naturally breathing through your nose or through your mouth? Are you breathing into your chest or into your abdomen? Are you breathing quickly or slowly? Are you breathing shallowly or deeply? Just notice it. Notice your body. Notice how you're holding yourself. Do you feel tension in your jaw or in your neck or in your face? Or no? I notice my knees right now because, like I said, they're both kind of being funny. How about your hips? How about your feet, your shoulders, your elbows, your hands? Just look internally at yourself. Notice your physical self right now. Take a moment to just feel your body on the earth where it is right now, how it feels. Nothing new age, nothing crazy, just your physical body. Notice how it feels. And now begin to bring that attention back to the breath and begin to manipulate your breath. So you're actively inhaling through your nose and exhaling through your nose. And see if you can make that breath deep. So as you inhale, you breathe all the way down. It feels like you're breathing into your belly. Your abdomen and your ribs and your chest all expand, and then slowly control the exhale, letting it go, feeling everything sort of relax and contract in your torso. If it helps, bring your, as you breathe, you can count the breath, inhaling, maybe you count to 4 or 6. Exhaling, can you make the exhale the same length of time as the inhale? Your breath is the most important thing in your yoga practice. So if all you do is come to the mat and breathe, that's a fantastic practice. As you inhale, breathe in relaxation. As you exhale, let go of tension. If as you scanned your body, you notice tension in different areas, our shoulders, our jaws, our necks, our hips, all hold tension, our back. As you exhale now, see if you can give those areas permission to let go. And of course, we always have mental thoughts, maybe stressful, maybe not, but give yourself this hour to try to tune out those thoughts, whether positive or negative. Just see if you can think about you and your practice for the next, 50 or 55 minutes. And whenever your mind starts to wander, come back to this breath, inhaling and exhaling. So tonight we'll flow through some postures, and as we do that, see if you can match your breath to your movement. So I will cue you, but always move at the pace of your breath. You don't need to move as fast or as slowly as I do. Let your breath match your movements. It's your practice. I'm just here to guide it. Next time you inhale, extend those arms upwards. Gently opening your eyes if they were closed, tilting your head to look up towards the ceiling. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, bring your hands down around behind you, placing them on the floor. Again, you could still be cross-legged or on your knees. Just stay right where you were. Press into your hands. Pulling your shoulders gently back, tilting your gaze ever so slightly up without throwing your neck backwards. Take a deep breath, expanding your chest and your ribs. And then come back to neutral. Inhale again, extend those arms upwards. As you exhale, bring your hands down to your heart. We're going to twist our spine a little bit. So again, you can keep your legs right where you are. You don't have to be on your knees. Inhale. As you exhale, twist to your left. Inhale. Exhale to the right. Inhale. Try to exhale completely as you twist, twisting further as you exhale. And then when you're out of breath, inhale back to center. Back to center. One more time left. Back to center. Exhale right. Back to center. Good. Inhale, extend those arms up. Exhale, bring them back down. Bring your hands to your legs, to your thighs, again, cross-legged or on your knees. And just open up that chest again. And then hinge forward and round over like a cow-cat and roll yourself back up. Good. So we're opening up, hinging forward, rounding the spine and rolling up, just loosening up that spine. One more time. And rolling back up. Good. Wherever your legs are, if you're on a block, come off of it. If you're cross-legged, if your legs are tucked under you, go ahead and extend those legs. Flexing your feet towards the sky. We'll do a few breaths with movement here as we get to just sort of stretch our spine, stretch our legs, warm up gently. I don't like to do too many hard static stretches at the beginning when we might be more tight. So we're going to inhale to extend up, again at your own pace. Exhale to float forward. And then just as you inhale, roll yourself back up and do it again. Exhale to float forward. Inhale all the way up, lengthening your spine. Exhale to float forward. And then whatever one you're on next time you exhale and float forward, just stay there. Let your head drop, let your arms release. So if your hamstrings are tight and your knees are a little bent, that's totally fine. If you want a deeper stretch, flex your feet towards your face. But basically just let everything go. Take some nice breaths here into the back body. Inhaling and exhaling. Extend like you're trying to, someone's pulling the crown of your head forward and then rise back up to a sitting position. Good, bend your knees. Hold on to the backs of your thighs. Pull your belly button in. Roll yourself all the way down. Draw your right knee into your chest. You can leave your left foot on the floor or you can extend it long. You decide based on your own comfort and flexibility. So you're holding your shin, gently pulling that leg towards your body. And then make circles with that leg. So you're rotating the hip here. Nice big circles with the whole hip joint moving. Continuing just to breathe, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Reverse that direction. Good, come back to center. You might find you need to bend this leg. If it's extended, you decide, and extend that top leg. So sometimes if you have a yoga strap or a towel, this could be helpful depending on your flexibility, so that you don't have to strain to reach up. But equally, my strap's getting all tangled on me. You can just hold on to the back of your thigh. You can hold on to your calf. Just don't grab your knee. That's not great for a knee. And you don't want to be kind of like hunching up. So that's why sometimes the strap makes it more comfortable. But you can hold your thigh. And let's just point and flex our foot. Notice the difference. As you point your toes towards the ceiling, notice that stretch across the front of your shin. And as you pull the toes back towards your face, notice that deep stretch in your hamstring. Again, we're just breathing, inhaling and exhaling, long breaths. If you want to roll the ankle, that can feel good. Roll it the other way. Good, and then bend that knee, hug it it back into your chest. Now we're gonna switch. So that leg can extend long, or it can be bent with your foot on the floor, you decide. Pulling that left knee into the body. Taking a breath. This is great for our backs. Just lying here with these one knee at a time or both knees in releases our low back. And then again, hip circles here. Just moving the leg as big as you can, but see that you can keep your hips on the floor, okay? You're not actually like lifting your body off the floor. It's just the leg. And reverse direction. Breathing in and out. Good, come back to center. Extend that leg. Again, you might find it's much better to have that foot bent for you. It depends on the flexibility of your hamstring. It depends on the length of your limbs. So many things. I often joke that I can only do one version of the posture at a time, right? I can't show you all of the variations. So you don't need to change just because I change. Maybe this feels great with your leg extended. Maybe you're like, nope, that hurts my back. It strains my shoulders. Bend your knee. Takes all the pressure off that low back. And maybe your hamstring some days can handle with straight leg and some days can't. So again, if you want to point and flex that left foot, try to keep the shoulders as much on the mat as possible. So holding on lower on your leg will help that. Again, not tugging on your knee. I go on a lot about your joints. I had a teacher once who said, your joints are more precious than diamonds, and she was not wrong. We can't get them back, so you gotta take care of them. So let's not tug on them while we're doing this. Good, draw that knee back into your chest. Good, now place both feet on the floor, bend both your knees. Bring your feet together and just swish your legs from side to side. You will be rocking off your hip a little bit here, and that's cool. Keep breathing. Pause the rocking. Separate your feet, mat's distance apart. And do the same rocking, but now take it a little bit further. So your legs actually drop down towards the mat on each side. And then it doesn't matter what side you do first, let your knees drop down. Extend your arms or cactus your arms. I love cactus arms, it feels great on the shoulders. And turn your head and look over the opposite shoulder. So whatever side your knees have gone to, turn your head the other way. Take a deep breath here. Breathing into twists is really good for our lung health. Because one side's constricted, so you have to work extra hard to breathe into it, so it's super good for your lungs. And bring those legs up over to the other side. Whatever side you didn't do. We've only got 2 of them, so make sure you do both. Turn your head and look over the other shoulder. I think it'd be really funny to teach yoga to octopuses. Think of how many different times you'd have to do things with all those arms and legs. It's easy for us, just 2 sides, 2 arms, 2 legs. For most of us anyway. Bring those knees back to center. Draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little rock. All right, place your feet on the floor again. So imprint your spine along the back. I was laughing today talking to some other yoga teachers saying I can never help myself bringing in some Pilates into yoga because I do think your core is so important. So we're not going to do anything intense, but I still like to think about your core because it's so good for your back health to work your back and work your abs. So we're going to do a little bit. So pulling your belly button in towards your spine, feel your low back press into the mat. That's going to protect your back and don't let it arch up. That's going to hurt you. We don't ever want that. Bring those knees to tabletop position, okay? So knees are over hips and shins are parallel to the floor. You'll notice this gets easier as you pull your knees back. You can relax your abs, and it gets harder as you push them away. So that's why right over hips is usually about right, but if you need to back them off a little bit, you can do that. We're just gonna toe tap. This is like a stationary march. You just tap one foot down and bring it up. Opposite foot and bring it up. Try to keep your chin in a neutral position so you're not craning your head and like looking up towards the sky, but it's also not like crushing against your chest. I often think of like a soft peach between the chin and the chest to keep it in neutral. And you're just breathing normally. Inhaling and exhaling. Tapping down and tapping down. So you should feel this in your core. It's not to say that it's easy. It's definitely working. Good. Finish on the opposite side from where you started. Bring them back up. And can you bring them both towards the floor? And pull them back up. Pull the belly button in. You might not reach the floor. You might get partway down and your back starts to arch. That's fine. Pull them back up. Pull the belly button in. We're not going to do as many as these. 2 more. Last one. Good. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a rock. And if you want to rock a couple times like this, if it feels good, massaging your back, you can do that. And then rock and bring yourself up and over, coming to tabletop. So hands under shoulders, knees under hips. My mat has a tendency to creep forward on this carpet. I don't know why. Okay. Tabletop position. So a couple of cow cats, always beginning with our tailbone, right? So as we inhale, we move the base of the spine, pelvis drops down, chest lifts, opening up, gently pulling shoulders back. As you exhale, tailbone begins, pulls the tailbone under, belly button comes towards the spine, head looks at belly button last. 2 more times here, inhaling. And exhaling. Last time, inhaling. And exhaling. Okay, we're gonna add to this. This is like a deeper cow cat. So you're gonna imagine you have like a bar here in front of you, and we're gonna dip under the bar back and forth, okay? So your elbows will bend for this. So as you inhale, you dip down like you're sliding under that bar, opening up into cow, and then you dip back, pressing up into cat, and sitting back towards your heels, and rising up again, back arched, and then inhale to dip under that bar, and come back, press up, arching, sit slightly back towards the heels. 1 more time, dipping down into your cow, under that bar, and then come back, arching up into cat, and this time sitting all the way back onto your heels, reaching those arms forward, coming to a child's pose. Head resting down on the mat. Breathing into your back body. Good, bring yourself back up, coming to that all fours position again. Step let's bring our right foot forward. Right foot forward, left knee stays on the mat, knee over ankle. We always start with that 90-degree bend of our knee over ankle, bringing your hands to your heart, and now I want you to drive forward, opening that left hip flexor. The right knee might start to pass out over the, past the ankle when you do this, but that's okay here because there's not any weight on there. Good, if you feel stable here, open those arms up towards the ceiling, begin to bring the chest up towards the ceiling, looking up. Good, and bring those arms back down, bring the hands onto the mat, curl the toes of your left foot under so the right foot can come back, drop down onto your knees. Good, lower all the way down to the floor, elbows hug the rib cage, all the way down, all the way down. Perfect. Bring your hands right under your head. Let your head rest upon your hands. Take an inhale. And then as you inhale, press up. Hands stay on the mat, elbows stay on the mat. And exhale, release back down. 2 more times. Inhale, just beginning to lift up, contracting the gluteal muscles. Exhale, release down. Inhale, lifting up, holding it up. Good. Bring your arms out, separate your arms, bring them up under you a little bit, see if you can open that up a little more, but forearms are still on the mat. So we're in Sphinx, just lifting up a little higher. Good, release that down, slide the hands back, right underneath the shoulders, push yourself up into a modified plank. So our knees are back away from our hips. Hands are right under our shoulders. Belly button pulling in. Good. Transition this to a right side plank. So the right knee is going to pivot out. Left leg's going to extend. We're on our right side. Extend that left arm up in the air. Good. Reach the arm overhead. Stretching long through that body. And make big circles with that arm. So it's actually going to brush down onto the mat. Swooping it up and around. Up and around. Good. One more time. Up and over and bring that hand down. Good. Coming back onto our modified plank. And then step your left foot forward. So once again, left knee over left ankle. Once you're stable, bringing hands to heart and hinging yourself forward. Opening through the chest. Now opening the right hip flexor, sorry. If you feel stable and you would like to, you could extend those arms up, opening the chest, bringing the gaze towards the ceiling, continuing to drive that forward. Good, deep inhale. And exhale, bringing that hand down. Good, step that left foot back. Lower all the way down to the mat. This time bring your arms beside your body. You can turn your palms face down. Squeeze your legs together. Palms can be face up or face down. It doesn't matter, but you can push off a little bit if they're face down. You decide what's more comfortable. I'm turning mine up. As you inhale, lift your chest and shoulders. It's a little bit harder than what we did a moment ago. Exhale, release down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, releasing down. Inhale, come up and hold it. And then if you'd like, extend your legs, lifting them slightly up the mat. Lift your hands off the mat and then hold this locust. So everything's lifting as much as you want it to. We're contracting our gluteal muscles, pulling the shoulder blades together. Good, and release that back down. Bring the hands up under the shoulders. Push yourself up into our modified plank. And then we're gonna do a side plank on this side. So the left leg pivots, right leg extends, right arm comes up. Sorry about my back being to you. And make big circles with that right arm. Up and around. Good, and then circle that hand onto the mat, finding yourself in that modified plank. We're going to do 3 push-ups here. So we're in modified plank position. Feel free to do it from toes. So we're not dropping our hips, right? Hips are lifted, but we're not knees right under our hips. They're back away from us. We're at an angle. I want you to come down with elbows brushing the rib cage just to a 90-degree bend. Your chest doesn't touch the floor, and then exhale, come back up. 2 more. Inhale, slowly down. Exhale, come back up. Inhale, slowly down. Exhale, up. And then sit all the way back on your heels in child's pose. Once again, breathing into your back body. Good, reaching those hands out in front of you. Curl your toes under. Actually, you know what? Come back to your hands and knees. Your tabletop position. Now curl your toes under you and push yourself up so you're hovering. So knees are over the mat, just a couple inches. And then drop them back down. Maybe not drop, lower with control. And then lift up and hold and drop back down. And again, lift up and hold, not holding your breath. Continue breathing and release. 1 more, lift up and hold it. Breathing, and this weird how this like works your core. It feels like you're not, kind of looks like you're not doing much of anything, but you actually are. And from here, we're gonna push up and back, coming to downward facing dog. So your hands are reaching out in front of you. If down dog is not appropriate for you, if you should not be inverted for any reason, you can always come to all fours anytime we're in down dog. And if you ever need a break, you always know you can come to child's pose. So roll those shoulders out away from the ears, always protecting our joints. Maybe jog through, bending one knee, bending the other knee. Stretching through the opposite hamstring, the opposite Achilles heel. And then pressing both heels towards the mat. So some of us, our heels don't reach the mat, that's fine, but try not to lift onto your toes. So you're pressing towards the mat, even if they don't quite want to make it all the way down, that's fine. You're just inviting them down to the mat, and they'll decide if they want to go. Good, extend your right leg up overhead. We're going to do similar hip circles to what we did before. Bend your right knee, drop your foot to that side, to the left side. So you're stacking right hip on left. And now make big hip circles. So very similar to what we did before. You can also do this if when you're on hands and knees, you can make circles with your leg. And reverse that direction. Good, and then bring that leg all the way to your chest. Hover, hover, hover for a moment, and then step that foot down, coming to a long lunge. So for a lot of people, having blocks on your long lunge is really helpful. What I want you to make sure is that your knee is over your ankle. If your foot's way back here, that's no problem. Just move it forward. Knee over ankle. And if it helps you be elevated, that's when blocks are like, if you've got a copy of Harry Potter lying around, something to elevate you. Push back, stretching through that heel. Good, keep your left hand in the mat as you turn and twist to your right. You can always drop the back knee onto the mat if that's better for you. You decide. Back knee on the mat, back knee off the mat, either way. And extend the right arm up. So you're twisting, maybe looking up towards the ceiling. Good, bringing that hand back down to the mat, stepping the right foot back to meet the left, releasing the knees onto the mat, lowering all the way down to the mat. Inhaling, coming to cobra. So hands stay where they are, elbows hug the ribs, shoulders pull down and away from the ears, contract the glutes. And next time you exhale, curl your toes under, push yourself up and back, coming to your down dog or modifying on all fours. Extending the left leg up, bend the left knee, drop it to the right side. So you should feel a bit of a hip flexor opener here as well. That's what this one is doing. And then make those big circles with the bent knee. Opening up the hip joint again. And then reverse your circles. Good, come back to center, bring that leg forward. Can you hover there for just a moment? And then place the foot down, coming to your long lunge. Hands on blocks. Alternatively, you could also come up. You can also always drop that back knee down, okay? There's always, always, always variations. Like I said, I can only show one at a time. But if I said you could do something on one side, you can totally do it on the other side. So with knee bent on the mat or with leg extended, this is the most important thing, right? Knee over ankle, 90 degrees. We're not tracking out forward. Leave the right hand in the mat as you turn to the left. Maybe extend that left arm. Take a couple of breaths here. Once again, notice how it feels to breathe into a twist. Good, hand finds the mat. This time, we're going to step the right foot forward, coming to the top of the mat, and forward fold. Bending the knees, letting your back go, letting your head go. Straighten your legs, still hanging over. Slide your hands halfway up your shins. So you're flat back, your torso is parallel to the floor. Check that you're not locking out your knees. Your gaze is on the floor in front of you somewhere so that your neck is in neutral. Breathing here. Good, release that, bend your knees, rounding over again, let yourself hang. Straighten your legs. Slide your hands halfway up, flat back. Pressing into your feet. Engaging your glutes, engaging your quads, engaging your abs to hold you here without locking your knees. Little micro bend in your knees. And bend your knees, forward fold. Straighten your legs. Slide halfway up. And now press into your feet, squeeze your quadricep muscles, and push yourself all the way up to stand. Deep inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart. Good, bring hands to shoulders and roll those shoulders forwards a couple of times. And roll them backwards a couple of times. Good, deep inhale, extend the arms up. As you exhale, forward fold, releasing all the way down. As you inhale, slide halfway up, flat back. As you exhale, bring hands to the floor. Let's step left foot back because I want to be facing towards you. Coming to lunge, and we're going to bring this up into a warrior one. So you're going to pivot that back foot at an angle and press yourself up. So your right foot is pointed forward. Your back foot's at an angle, all right? It's not perpendicular, 45-degree angle. See if you can bring your hips to the front. Bring your hands to your heart. So same rules apply. Knee not going beyond your ankle. You can see my knee isn't super deeply bent. You can bring this deeper, but you don't want to go forward. As you go deeper, you have to bring the back foot back, and you want to keep those hips facing forward. Or you just modify like I'm doing and not have a deep bend in the knee. Good, inhale, extend those arms up overhead. Exhale, bring the hands behind the body, clasping them together, pulling them down and away, so you're opening up your chest. Good, bring those arms back up. And then open them, finding a warrior two. So front knee is still pointing forward, back foot is still at an angle, shoulders are rolling away from the ears, and that gaze is out over that front hand. Good, straighten that leg, and then pivot, so you're facing towards me. Actually, you're probably not facing towards me because your mat's probably oriented the other way, but it doesn't matter. Your feet are separated, your feet are parallel. Bring them so they're not like mega wide apart, but definitely wider than your hips. Good, and then we're gonna forward fold. You can hinge from the hips, long, flat back, and then release yourself all the way down, let your head go. And now just bend your knees, one and then the other. So you're just rocking back and forth. One side and the other, working the hip joint, working the knee joint. Good, come back to center, bend the knees, roll yourself up. And then we're gonna come into goddess pose. So the feet are gonna turn out slightly at an angle, not wildly at an angle. Pull the pelvis under, pull the belly in as you sit down, trying to keep the chest lifted. It's super important here. I'm going to turn sideways. We don't want to go forward. That's a really good way to hurt your knees. So we want to sit down and back. You could bring hands to heart, or you could bring hands to goddess. So I was saying that my knees are bothering me, right? But that doesn't mean I can't do squats. It just means I have to be careful. I want to make sure I'm using my muscles. Great way to rehab your knees is going to be to build strength in your quadriceps and your glutes. So make sure you can wiggle your toes. You're sitting way back, weight in your heels. Good, I want you to stretch those arms up and then pull them down with resistance. Sometimes I like to make fists just because it makes me feel like I'm pulling that lat bar like in the gym. Pull them down, pull your shoulder blades together when you get down here. Reach up and pull them down. Two more, reach up and pull. Last time, reach up and pull. Close those arms together and then bring your hands to heart center and press yourself up. Good, pivot towards the front. Probably have to step that back foot forward a little bit here. Good, we're gonna come to pyramid, which is a deceptively challenging posture. It's a great stretch for your hamstrings. So keep your hips oriented forward. You have a couple of options for your hands. You can leave your hands here on your hips if you want. You could bring your hands behind you, fist to fist, or bring your hands into a prayer behind you. Okay? You decide what's best for your shoulders. Keeping your legs straight and your spine long, hinge from your hips like someone's pulling you by the crown of your head and stretching you up and forward. At most, you're going to end up parallel to the floor. If you're really flexible, you can keep going, but you want to make sure that back stays long. I don't want a rounded spine on this one. So probably your right hip has shifted forward and your left hip has shifted back. So see if you can invite the left hip forward and square them off. Release the arms and now let your back round and just round yourself over that leg. If you need to bend your front knee a little bit to do that, that's fine. Good. Stepping forward, so you're in a forward fold, hanging low here. Tuck your hips and roll yourself up. One vertebra at a time. Shoulders down and back. We're going to do a balancing pose here on that right leg that's there. I'm going to just turn towards you. So right leg, pick your hand position. Hands to hips, hands at heart center, arms extended. You decide what you want to do. Bring that left foot to the ankle, the calf, or if you have the flexibility, up on that inner thigh for tree. Don't put your foot on your knee, please. Again, we always want to protect the joints. So much rather you be down here on your shin or on your calf. I will do that for the sake of demonstration. If you want to grow the branches of your tree once you're stable. If you are standing on carpet or like me on like a mat that's squidgy, this is a lot harder. So be gentle on yourself if you're wobbly. You could also put a hand on a wall, a finger on a wall. Totally fine. Think about opening that knee out while keeping the hips square forward. Good, bring the hands back down to heart center. Bring that foot down. Take a deep inhale. Good, and bring your hands to your heart. Take an inhale. Take an exhale and release down. I'm going to walk to the other side of the mat, just because I don't want to have my back to you. Good. Step your right foot back this time, coming to that lunge position. Breathing into that. And then coming up into your warrior one here. So that back foot, the right foot, pivots at an angle. Front knee is bent, hips are forward, hands at heart center, or whatever arm position you want. So many arm positions. They can certainly extend. That's very classic warrior one. If you need the support, if you need to hold a wall or a chair. The arms are extra credit. What we're worried about here is, what are our hips doing? Are my hips drifting out, or am I keeping them square to the front? Is my knee bent, working those muscles, but yet not tracking way out over my toes? Breaths here. Notice that breath as it changed. Open this up, coming to our warrior two. I always have to scooch my feet back a little bit. My foot back. I'm not an octopus after all. I only have two. Extending those arms. Squeeze your shoulder blades together here. There's a lot of work we can do building our muscles without any weights, without doing anything. If our arms are just hanging out, spaghetti arms, like Dirty Dancing, they're not doing very much. If you're shooting energy from your fingers, you're rolling your shoulders down and back and you're squeezing them together, you're working muscles actively. Breathing into that. Good, extend that leg. Once again, walk those feet in a little bit, bring your feet parallel, bring the hands behind the back, clasping them together, opening the chest. And then hinging forward and letting those arms float up overhead, letting the head drop down. Without bouncing or pulling or forcing, we don't want to hurt those shoulders. Just letting them go. Release the hands, let them hang down in front of you. Bring the hands to the hips. Press yourself up halfway, flat back. Press into your feet, squeeze your quadricep muscles, and bring yourself all the way back up. Good. Turn those feet out again. Sinking down into your goddess. We're going to do this with movement. So, lowering down. Good, so the arms that we did before, we're going to do the arms and legs. We're going to grow tall, and then we're going to pull down. Inhale, exhale. Same thing as before, make sure you're sitting in your heels. It's harder because we're doing it with movement, but try not to fall forward into your knees. This one's helpful to look in a mirror or have someone else look at you or have someone take a picture. It's deceptive. Sometimes we think we're going back, but we're really not. Come down and hold it. Wiggle the toes. Think of opening the chest. Good. Bring the forearms actually onto those thighs. So our chest is going to lower down a little bit. And can you push your thighs slightly open? So if you've got real open hips, I don't want you to go past your ankles. Keep them in line. If your hips tend to be less open, this will sometimes help open them up. Can you sink a little lower? Can you grow a little taller? Good. Press yourself up. Pivot to the front of your mat. I almost went to the wrong side of my mat. Step your back foot a little bit further forward for a pyramid on this side. So our hips are square. Pick that hand position, hands on hips, fist to fist, palm to palm. Take an inhale. As you exhale, keep pulling the right hip forward because that will keep it parallel so that your hips are even. Just coming to flat back. For some of you that might be here, that's fine. What I don't want is some people like to dive all the way down and they get really, really rounded. See if you can keep a long spine, extending out from the crown of your head and from your tailbone. Feeling this lovely stretch in your hamstrings. Feeling your abdominal muscles work to keep you supported. You're looking somewhere out in front of the toes in front of you on the floor. And then go ahead and let yourself round over. Again, maybe you bend that front knee. I had to step my back foot further a little bit forward more. Whatever you need to do. And then step that right foot all the way forward. Bend your knees and roll yourself up. One vertebra at a time. Coming to standing. Good, we're crossing on the other side. So balancing down your left foot, I realized that I did that wrong. It looks like we're opposite sides, but just make sure you do the other side. Standing on the left foot, right foot coming to ankle, to calf, or if you want, comes all the way to the thigh. But again, only to the thigh if you have the flexibility to do that and that works for you. Like I said, right now my knee's bothering me. I'm gonna stay down here on my calf. If you're wobbling, arms extended is sometimes more balancing. But again, by all means, put your hand on a wall or on a chair. You're still standing on one leg, right? Even if you're holding on to something. It's not cheating. It's just teaching your body that it's okay. You can balance, and then maybe you take a hand off. If you're super stable and you want to extend the arms up, you can do that. Release that foot down, bring the arms down, take a deep inhale. Let's sit back once into chair, bring the hands to heart center, sitting back, knees over ankles, long spine. Can you, from your chair posture, just shift your weight and lift one foot off the mat and hover? Just hold it. Place that foot down, lift the other foot up and hover. Place that foot down. One more time each side. Doesn't matter what side you do first. Place it down. Seeing if you can maintain the integrity of the top part of your body. Just moving that foot. Good. Coming down to a half chair. So you sit low. You bring those arms out and you bring your chest all the way to your knees, your thighs. Good, and then forward fold. So from your forward fold, walk your feet out a little bit and then turn your toes out like a duck position. Bend your knees so your hands can find the mat and use your hands to support yourself. We're gonna lower down into a deep yogi squat. Now, if you don't get all the way down, it's another good moment for a block, for a pillow, for a book, whatever. You could put your block up on its highest level. That's fine. Anything in between. If you can come all the way down, that's great. Don't worry if your knees lift off the floor, but try to bring your back up. Okay, a lot of people will end up really rounded over. See if you can sit up tall. Use your elbows to press against your thighs. Bring your hands to your heart. Taking some nice deep breaths, another one to open our hips. Again, any level of elevation on this is fine. If it's hurting anything, always come out of it. I always said when I lived in Botswana, 90-something-year-old ladies sat like this to do their chopping, to do their washing. We don't spend enough time not sitting on chairs, so we lose the ability in our knees and our hips and our bodies to do this. It's not age, it's lack of use. So if you can do this now, keep doing it, and you too can chop onions from this position when you're 85 years old. Good, release yourself all the way down. And extend those legs out and just give them a shake. Pump the feet like flippers. Whatever feels good. Bend your knees. Tiny little abdominal work. Hinge yourself back so you're holding on with your hands here. We're lifting our chest, pulling our belly button in. Good, and then can you release? If you're comfortable here and you'd like a challenge, can you lift those legs up? Tabletop position. If you'd like a challenge still, can you do what we did before and tap down and lift? Tap down and lift. You can do the marching here too. You can do one foot and then the other. You can do it from here. So if you're here and you want a challenge, you reverse march. You bring up one foot and down. Bring up the other foot and down. So many variations. Good, working that core. So good for our back. And then bring your belly button to your spine. Roll yourself all the way down. Stretch yourself long, reaching your arms overhead. Reaching your legs below. Go ahead, bend your left knee. Cross your right ankle over it. So right ankle is on the thigh of the left leg. Reaching hands in between, grabbing hold of that left thigh, pulling it towards your body, and then using your right arm to gently press away your right thigh. Taking a couple breaths. Good, place that foot down. Switch sides. Left ankle over the right thigh, push that knee away, lift the right leg up, and gently pull it in. Use that left arm, pressing against the left leg. Breathing into that. Good, releasing that. Bring your hands under your body so you're sitting on top of your palms, and extend your legs straight up in the air. Flexing your feet. Pull the belly in, roll the shoulders down and back into the mat. Lower your right leg towards the mat slowly, like you're pushing through that heel. So you're pressing it away, like you're pushing down 1,000,000 pounds with the leg. And then bring the leg back up. And then press the left heel, push it, push it, push it, push it, push it. Lots of pressure. And then pull it back up. One more time, right. One more time, left. Good, bring the knees into the body, reaching your hands in between, coming to happy baby. Rocking your happy baby from side to side. Massaging the low back. Bring the soles of your feet together, lower them onto the mat. Again, if you have blocks, yoga blocks are not a bad investment if you're going to be practicing yoga because they're pretty versatile. You can use other things. So if you have a pillow, if you have a book, only if this is uncomfortable to have your knees here in this butterfly position, you can put the block under there to support your leg, okay? If you're feeling any pressure. And then bring one hand to your abdomen, right about your navel, and the other hand to your heart center. Let your arms release down into the mat. We're going to do a short breathing exercise. It's called the square. It's meant to slow your breath, bring relaxation and focus. So it's called the square because it's an even inhale and exhale with hold. So it counts of 4. So you're going to inhale, 2, 3, 4, contract and hold, 2, 3, 4, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, and hold, 2, 3, 4. That's a square. Inhale and hold. Exhale and hold. Inhale and hold. Exhale, hold. Inhale, hold. Exhale, hold. Do this maybe 2 more times, your own pace, noticing your hands rising and falling. Once you finish that 2 times, just resume normal breathing. Whenever you're ready, extend your legs long below your body. Reach your arms up overhead, grab hold of your right wrist, and gently pull it towards the left. Take a breath into your right side body. Switch, grab hold of your left wrist, pull it to the right. Breathe into your left side body. Bring yourself back to center, interlace your fingers, stretch both arms overhead. Lift up your right foot just a few inches off the floor, flex your foot and push that foot away. Push it, push it, push it, push it, push it. And then let it go to the mat. Flex the right foot, or whichever one you didn't do. I think I said the wrong one. And lift your leg up a couple inches. Push that heel away. Push it, push it, push it, push it, push it. And let it go. Reach your arms straight up in front of you. Stretch them away like you're trying to reach the sky, but your back is pressed into the mat. And then let your arms come to the earth. Separate your legs about mat's distance. Turn your palms up, your arms a little ways from your body. Bring your chin ever so slightly towards your chest. Closing your eyes if they're not already closed. And just enjoy a few moments of relaxation. Bring your attention back to your body, wiggling fingers and toes, rolling wrists and ankles. Let your head roll from side to side. Draw your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug and a rock. Roll yourself towards me, towards the screen. scream, curling yourself over for a moment in fetal position. You can rest on your bottom arm extended. And then slowly press yourself up, finding yourself in a seated position. You can come back to cross-legged, you can come back to knees under you, sitting on a block. Eyes closed, hands resting in lap, spine tall. And take another moment, just like you did at the beginning, to notice your breath, notice your body. Notice your physical state now compared to an hour ago, without judgment of whether it's better or worse, just noticing any changes. You're just an observer, not a judge. Through the nose. Hold it. Open your mouth and let it go. This time as you inhale, extend your arms out and up. Hold it with your arms stretched up overhead, and then exhale. Bring your hands to heart center. One final time, inhale. And exhale, let it go. And namaste. Bowing forward in gratitude and in thanks for all that your body does for you, for your practice, for everyone sharing their energy tonight. I bow to you. Thank you very much for joining me.